You could steal my heart like that? I think that should be a line I should say to you. Hello, Aroma. This is Aromie here. Welcome back to Color Malice Unlimited. We're here thanking Enomoto for helping us the night Tachibana almost killed me. Back there, Yanagi and I were just prioritizing your safety over catching Tachibana. When a criminal is allowed to roam free, it just creates more victims. It's the job of the police to prevent that. So I'm not gonna blame you for trying to hunt him down. I think you should never let go of that feeling. It's something precious. Enomoto. I think this was probably the first time that he was actually looking at me as a police officer. I hadn't expected that from him, but I returned his gaze, acknowledging his recognition. So, it might not mean much coming from me, but don't push yourself too hard. And with that, Enomoto hastily walked out of the office. At first, I wasn't sure if we'd get along, but I guess he's a good guy at heart. I figured him for the type to charge in and ask questions later, but he was more thoughtful than he looked. As a less experienced officer, I should make sure to take his advice to heart. Tachibana continued to be concerned, but I needed to focus on what was in front of me and pitch in to help however I could as a police officer. It's precious, huh? I reflected on Enomoto's advice and looked up at the night sky. If I work with these guys, I should be able to discover the truth behind X Day. And then the day when I can take this collar off will come, I'm sure of it. The chill of the collar on my skin constantly weighed on my mind, but for once I didn't feel it. This is endgame? Continued to after story. So I did get his fucking route. Alright. I did get his route. Kill. Epilogue. Menial Enomoto. Chapter 1 can now be played. So, basically... Let's do this. Basically, we are looking... Okay. Ooh. This is like a DLC in a way then. Because you're going to the interlude to learn about, you know, the whole story again. And after story is your life with them. Like, I'm assuming. The protagonist helped end the threat of the XA incidents in Shinjuku. There are still lingering issues and... Yeah, okay. So the interlude is to catch you up on everything. After story is what happens after they capture Adonis. Not the entirety of the Adonis people, because that never actually happened. But I don't know. This is where I'm stuck at. I don't know if I should just continue on with Minio, his after story, or go back and then like show you guys all the other guys that are possible selections. Because that's just like recap. I'm not showing you the actual unlimited part. Let's just play Minio's after story. Because I don't want to spoil too much of the other guys' routes if you guys haven't played it yet. And if you've already played it, you've already seen what their stories lead up to. So let's play the after story of Minio right here. Starting the story? Yes. And if I have time, I'll go back and like we can figure out the next guy, but I don't think I have time. Last year's series, the horrific crimes like the witch of blah 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 blah, the XA incidents. Alright, so Enomoto is the one we got. I was a rookie cop who just started out, and amidst the chaos I was scrambling to protect the public. That was when someone placed a poison-filled collar around me and I found myself in a life-or-death situation. And then I met him. It must be fate. The member of the detective agency that was investigating the X-Day, Minio Enomoto, was formerly part of the field's op. Oh my god, this is going so fast! We were about the same age and he seemed easy to talk to. Not long after we met, it was one argument after another. Yo! He really wants to be number one. But while investigating April and May incidents together, I finally learned something. That grief was from being betrayed by someone he trusted. I wanted to get closer to his heart. I didn't want him to give up a straightforward sense of justice. So I desperately chased after him. It was then that Minio accepted me as his partner. Minio saw me for who I really was. God, he's such... There were no games or duplicity, just his open, honest self. Faced with his genuine feelings, I soon found myself thinking of him as someone who was more important to me than anyone else in the world. He really was an honest person. Dude, all these flashbacks. There was this time he confronted Tomoki Ogata. Even though conflicting combat was unavoidable, Minio faced him head on. So even though he held on to those scars, we'll join hands and head towards the future together. As long as I'm with him, we'd be able to face any hardships that came our way. Not alone, but together, to protect the happiness that we'd found. Cute. Cute, 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 cute. I should have did investigating outside though, so then I would have gotten Okazaki, because he's my number one. Honesty's the best policy. Minio Enomoto. He's out here. Claim my heart. Fuck. Oh, April. The spring sunshine felt warm on my face. Minio and I walked to the Shinjuku police station side by side. I made lunch for you today. Here you go. Minio's eyes lit up as I offered him a rather hefty lunchbox. Oh, I didn't read that out for you guys. My bad, sorry. Thanks for taking the time to do that. I'm super happy. That makes it all worth it then. And if you'd like, I was thinking we could have lunch together. No need to be so polite. Of course I'll make the time for it. Are you sure? Don't go out of your way just for me. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it a bit. Sure, I've been running around like crazy since I rejoined the forest, but things are mostly calm now. Besides, I wouldn't turn down an invitation from my girlfriend. I'd be an embarrassment as a man. That's so like you, Minio. There wasn't a hint of shame in the way he said it. He's so cute. This spring, Minio had proudly rejoined Shinjuku Field Operations Unit 2. We often walked to and from work together. I'll be waiting for you on the rooftop at lunch. Man, having a girlfriend at work even though we are in different departments, I'm so happy I could cry. Enomoto put on a theatrical show of weeping tears of joy. He'd also discarded the eye patch he used to wear. I have to say, it's still a little weird seeing you without the eye patch. I totally forgot and just realized he didn't wear it. Since officially rejoining the force, he had stopped wearing it. Yanagi and Takeru told me to take it off. You know, even during my first stint here, I only wore it while I was off duty or on breaks, okay? Sataki would definitely kick my butt if I wore it around the clock. You're right about that. After I started staying with Yanagi, I got used to wearing it and never took it off. Isn't it just because you looked up to the great Date Masamune? Yeah, but I realized I can't just keep trying to be like other cool people. I decided that I'm gonna walk my own path. New Enomoto Mineo styleなわけだ。右目の封印を解いたことによってイケメンっぷりが上がっただろうが。That's right. You're looking at the new, improved Minio Enomoto. Now that I've unlocked the seal on my right eye, my coolness powers will skyrocket. Although Minio was being his usual boisterous self, I knew that the road to reinstatement hadn't been easy for him. He was up late every night studying, dead set on getting his badge back by spring. After Ogata had been released late last year, perpetrators linked to the X-Day killings had been captured one after another. However, the police never managed to catch the Adonis leadership, and were still trying to chase down members who had gone to ground. They had declared that the X-Day project was suspended, but nobody knew if Adonis would regroup someday. That said, there has been no significant news events for months, so the string of murders seemed to finally be over. Those were some hectic times. With the quarantine lifted and the weapon laws back in place, Shinjuku was finally returning to a semblance of its former life. The X-Day task force had been resolved, and Morioka, Mingishi, and Mukai had all returned to police headquarters. But Shiraishi still hasn't come back yet. According to Mukai, Shiraishi often went off on his own to satisfy his personal whims, and that appeared to be the case this time as well. He's like Sasuke, just going out there in the world. I figured that SRCPO would be dissolved, but they didn't in light of Shinjuku's crime rate prior to the quarantine. Given the effectiveness of CRCPO, they chose to continue operations to aid in crime prevention and community policing. There was still an overwhelming number of reports coming in, so an SRCPO hotline had been created to take the load off the standard dispatch office. In essence, my job duties hadn't changed at all.
Toma! 封印を解いたことによって女子にキャーキャー言われるかもだけど、俺にはお前だけって聞いてるか?
Still, you don't have to worry if the ladies start falling all over me now that my full power is unlocked. You're the only... Hey, are you listening? Oh, totally.
いやいや、絶対その顔は聞き流してたろ。あのな、今俺のイケメン度が上がったことについて語ってたんだぞ。それを
That look says you've been totally ignoring me. I was just talking about how I've kicked my suaveness up a notch, so... your style is different without the eye patch, but I wouldn't say that it's better. I'd say that each look has its own unique charm. He was shooken. Oof, you can't steal my heart like that. I think that should be a line I should say to you. Enomoto, what the fuck? Minio clutched his chest in mock English. There was mirth behind the expression, so I knew that he wasn't really upset. So you've been living on your own for a week now. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating right?
あの料理上手な柳先輩のとこにいたからな。むしろ料理の腕は上がったくらいだ。
Of course, I live with Master Chef Yanagi, you know. You could say that some of his skills rubbed off on me. After Minio had been rehired, he felt that he couldn't keep relying on Yanagi and moved out of the detective office. I'd helped him find a new place to live, and he had ended up moving to a place near my apartment.
俺のことよりさ、こっちはいつお前から SOS が来てもいいように備えてるんだぞ。
Enough about me. I've been prepared to respond to an SOS from you, whether day or night. Oh, you worry too much about me. You even picked a new place to live because you were worried about me and Kazuki.
何言ってんだ。そこは重要だろう。それに日常で困ることはたくさんある。
That's plenty important. Besides, I bet you face a lot of daily struggles. Such as...
分かってねえな、お前は。例えば、ジャムの瓶を開けようとして蓋が開かない。和樹もいない場合、どうする?
You know, like what if you're trying to open a jar of jam, but Kazuki isn't around? I'll use a towel or rubber gloves for extra grip, or I'll loosen the lid by heating up the jar up, or by palm striking the bottom to dislodged air.
違う! 俺はそんなお役立ち情報を聞きたかったわけじゃない!
No, those 3 simple tricks aren't the life hacks I needed to hear. Am I wrong?
ジャムはやめだ。そう。部屋に雲がいた。やっぱり和樹はいない。さあどうする?
Okay, never mind the jar jam. What'll you do if you see a spider in the room and Kazuki isn't home? If I find a spider, I'll just shoot it away and let it escape outside.
ああ、優しい。って違うだろ!
Wow, so No, that's not what I meant! He wants to be useful.
ミネさん、助けて! って、俺に SOS が正解.
When that happens, you're supposed to call me and say, I'm so scared, Minio, save me. No, what the fuck? This scenario is actually the opposite. It's flipped between Tyler and I. I'm always the one catching the bugs for him, and he's the one that's like hiding in the corner. I carry a gun, so I'm pretty sure I can handle a spider on my own. Just blap blap the spider, apparently. But this is where we're gonna stop for today's episode. You know, it's not too bad that we actually got Enomoto Minio. Wait, was that a cute? That's really cute right there. Minio Enomoto. I'm not too mad that we actually got him the first skill because he is a bundle of fun. So I'm just gonna continue playing what we can of his route. Sorry if it's not the guy you wanted me to end up with, but I'm not too mad because he is my number 2 on my rank. Number 1 is Okazaki. Number 2 is Enomoto. Number 3 is Shiraishi. 4 Yanagi. 5 is Takuru. Sorry, Takuru. He had a rough childhood. Not childhood. He had a rough story as well, if I remember. Well, yeah, childhood. His memory. Oh, shit. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.